Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time, as well as some modern releases I've recently finished. And today I want to talk about a retro game that is near and dear to my heart and is absolutely ridiculous, but it's perfect for this time of year, and that is the Grinch on the Dreamcast and the PlayStation 1. Now I want to talk about this game because I got it when I was really little for the Dreamcast. I think my mom got it for me. I'm not sure why. I know my brother wouldn't have recommended the game for any reason, because it was a tie-in for the live action Grinch movie with tons of weird things about it. So I can't imagine he was the one that would ever have recommended the game to me, but it became like a cult classic for me specifically that I just really enjoyed. I played the heck out of it until the disc stopped working, like it was all scratched up, or my disc reader on my Dreamcast stopped working. And I just craved playing that game for some reason. And since then, I've made a tradition to play through it all the way through from start to finish, 100% every year. And it's just as fun every year. And I remember it, and I remember it very fondly. So I want to talk about the Grinch. So first and foremost, this is a tie-in to the live action Jim Carrey, The Grinch from the 2000s. I think from the year 2000. And it is every bit as bad as you would think that would be. It's got like terrible graphics. They're totally passable. It works. The game plays pretty decently. The graphics are pretty poor for the era that it launched in. The voice acting is horrible because they don't have any of the original cast, specifically Jim Carrey. Although the guy that does the Grinch actually does some interesting things. He tries to make it distinct. He has some lines that are shared by Jim Carrey that you can't deliver like Jim Carrey did. Otherwise, it'd be too schlocky. So he does it differently, and I appreciate the effort that was put into this. But the voice acting, for the most part, is pretty abysmal. It's quite laughable to experience. But that's part of the charm for me. All these little things just make it a more interesting experience for me overall. So you play as the Grinch, who is trying to steal Christmas, as you'd expect, and he goes through 4 main areas in the game. You'll go through downtown Whoville, and you'll check off various things like smashing presents. You'll break snowmen, smash snowmen. You'll breathe your stinky foul spray, rotten breath at people. You'll break into the post office to resort the mail, like they do in the like he does in the movie. You'll change the clock on the downtown Whoville to get into other places. There are a wide variety of stuff to do in the first area specifically. And once you've done enough, you'll move on to the next area, or the next area will unlock, and you can go to the Who Forest, which is a brand new locale that we've never seen in any of like the books, the original book, or the live action movie. This is a brand new thing. In fact, the next 3 things are brand new to this game. You'll have Who Forest, where you do things like throwing beehives down Who homes. You'll put you'll go and slime the mayor's skis at his private resort. All sorts of weird things. And along with these new locales, you also have Grinch gadgets that you can do. You'll collect these blueprints throughout each area to unlock a new thing, like a rotten egg shooter, a slime shooter. You'll have a weird like Doc Ock arms where you can climb up certain walls. You'll have a flippin' helicopter thing where you can actually just fly around. Binoculars, you have a submarine that you do for a specific area. All sorts of wacky inventions that actually are pretty fun and really funny to use, that you'll unlock sequentially to get new things. And as you backtrack, you'll unlock new parts of the area so you can 100% them. You know, a typical kind of Metroidvania-esque style of gameplay. It's pretty funny. So after the Who Forest, you'll unlock the Dump. But this isn't the dump at Mount Crumpet. This is this brand new like industrial section. There's even a power plant level once you get the right equipment. All sorts of weird things there. And then the last one is Who Lake, which has like Boy Scouts and Scout leaders. You'll have the mayor's like lake house that you, instead of tying his bed to a cop car, you'll now hook it to a boat where it gets launched off into the lake. It's pretty hilarious. They do some callbacks to the live action movie while also doing their own spin on it, making it different. I think they're actually fairly clever. The game actually controls pretty well. There are lots of times where you'll be like, oh man, I felt like I hit that jump, or I should have grabbed that ledge. But for the most part, it handles pretty well. I think they sacrificed on the graphical side of things so they could actually make a pretty mechanically sound game. I didn't find myself making too many mistakes in the game, even like the first time I played through it versus now. I just find the mechanics actually working pretty well. There are definitely some confusing puzzles. Sometimes we're like, that was bull crap. There's no way that that thing happened, or I didn't hit this thing. Tons of there's plenty of jank, but for the most part, I think it's actually a pretty sound experience. And for the new locales that they made, it's actually pretty interesting. There is a game to be found here. It is an interesting and, might I even say, compelling experience. And it's one that I play every year. I can beat the game 100% in just a couple of days. And if you're going in blind and you've never played the game before, you could probably beat it 100% in a week or two. It's not a super long game. Once you figure things out and do your backtracking after you have unlocked the new things, it can be a pretty enjoyable experience, actually. There's plenty to not like about this game, for sure. But for me, the Grinch on the Dreamcast is an absolute cult classic that I love to death, despite all of its flaws. I give the Grinch a silver rank, with a special addendum that if you like crappy games, this is actually a really great crappy game that you should go and play. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.